Well, the battle to stop the theft of copper wire from irrigation systems has been going on for over 3 years in Georgia and in the southeast. Success rate in catching the thieves has been minimal. The Monitor's Rick Treptow reports that now farmers, law enforcement, recyclers, and Georgia's largest general farm organization have declared stopping copper wire thefts as a major priority.
This is the Crifts County watermelon, cotton, and peanut farm of Hal MCKAY. He has 38 irrigation systems, but 9 have been broken into for copper theft during the past 7 months.
The insulated copper wire is located on the top of the span. They are often 1,000 feet long. MCKAY and fellow farmers have tried farmer ingenuity with stainless steel bands.
Putting 10 or 12 on per tower, hoping to discourage the theft and move them on down the road, and of course you can tell it didn't work. It's a real inconvenience. When you go out there to start the pivots up, you can't run them.
When a system goes down, an entire year's crop is threatened.
You can be delayed, 5-7 days, depending on when you can get some span wire.
There are newer solutions. A company in Leesburg, Central Monitoring, is helping. All of MCKAY's center pivots now have security systems.
What they do is monitor the span wire, the wire on the pivot from one end all the way to the other, and if it's tampered with, it's going to send a signal to them. They call 911 and they call me, and 911 has explicit instruction, detailed directions to each pivot, and that's with anybody in the county that's got these monitors, not just me.
MCKAY and all the county's farmers certainly have the attention of their sheriff, Donnie Harrelson, and his deputies.
I'm Team 23 on Hal MCKAY's farm on Morgan Road.
We meet with our farmers regularly, the sheriff does. He stays in constant contact with them. We have, in some instances, provided radios for some of the farmers to use if they're out checking their pivots at night so they can stay in direct contact with us should they see something.
All the Georgia Sheriff's Departments are strapped for money to fully patrol their community hubs, much less the rural areas.
There's so many pivots out that you just can't watch all of them, and they just stop at no means to try to still make an easy living.
Copper wire theft cases have been made in Houston County. District Attorney George Hartwig told me a man with other criminal charges got 14 years for copper wire theft with no parole. He said it was on his campaign list last year, too.
My philosophy as district attorney is, when you've got a problem like this that is in the community, that you need to attack it aggressively and basically try to get the word out to the criminals that are inclined to do this kind of crime. If you get caught stealing copper from farmers in Houston County, that we're gonna prosecute you and be tough on you.
To make prosecutions stand up, the DAs want the judges statewide to realize copper thefts endanger potential agricultural growth.
When we've encountered these type of criminals and these charges, we've asked our judges to be tough on them and sentence them harshly, and they have done that.
The Georgia Farm Bureau State Board of Directors are very involved in learning more about the copper theft damage, the problems with prosecutions, and the recyclers' efforts to detect the thieves at time of sale.
This new version that was just printed has a new component, a prosecution guide, which kind of walks prosecutors through Georgia code on how best to make a case that will stick.
These Farm Bureau officials want to know about all the sides of copper wire theft. Schnitzer Steel is a recycler in Macon. Chip KOPLIN is active in the Georgia Recyclers Association.
So the Georgia Recyclers Association is working very closely with other stakeholders such as Georgia Power, the electrical cooperatives, AT&T, Georgia Farm Bureau to network and exchange ideas on what we can do in order to discourage metal theft.
KOPLIN says there is also a responsibility for all of us. Being a nosy neighbor isn't just for urban residents anymore.
So we need for people to be looking around things like electrical substations or cellular tower sites or near irrigation systems.
A drop in the current high price for copper wire might help. For the rest of this growing season, farmers just really want to put on crop protecting chemicals and be able to irrigate and make good yields. I'm Rick Treptow for the Georgia Farm Monitor.